How do I buy a tax lien in the state of Florida? In this video, we're going to talk about buying tax lien certificates in the sunshine state of Florida. Okay, a lot of things happening there. Just when you think Florida has got no new surprises, more comes up. In this video, not only are we going to show you how to buy tax lien certificates, but how tax liens and tax deeds in Florida just ain't for the retired anymore. This is a great market to be in. I've had students that have done very, very well. I've done very, very well in Florida and continue to do so. In this video, I'm going to show you when to go, where to go, how to go, what to go, all the things you need to do to Wadago's that's Wadago's. That's a surf spot down in Australia. We're not going to go to Wadago's, but that would be nice. I'm going to show you everything in the state of Florida on how to do that in this video. Oh, subscribe, thumbs up, send it to a friend. It's super important. If you got a comment, put it in there. If it's a good question, I'll answer it. If it's not, I'll say it's not a good question. I know to see if your question's good. Good. I do have a bonus for you. Stick around to the very end. Short little video here. Got a little gift for you, something I've been working on for a while, so stick around and I'll show you how to get that. Okay, let's talk about Florida. Florida is what we call a dual state. I like to call it a dual state. Some of my team members call it, I think Dan nicknamed it the hybrid state. Well, I don't know. I guess it's dual state. You get deeds and you got liens. So let's just talk about Florida as a whole. Florida has their tax lien sale in May. By law, every county has to have started their sale by the last business day of May. Okay, it's a 2-year redemption period, paying 18%, you bid down the interest rate if you should go to the sale. At the end of the sale, once everybody's been there and put their hands up and all this stuff, and then they go into inventory. It takes about a month or so, depending on the county, to get those available where you can buy those over the counter. Okay, so let's just talk. Let's stop backwards. I'm probably getting a lot of people watching this video because they're going, oh, I want to buy tax liens. I heard a guy at a cocktail party and he said, I'm buying tax liens and, blah, blah, blah. I heard Elon Musk is hot on dojo and tax liens or something like that. Not true. But the bottom line is there's a lot of action there. So I want to get rid of the misnomers there. What do you need to do let's just back up. A tax lien certificate is not ownership of the property, okay? So let me just put it this way. How's the simplest way? A tax lien is a first position lien on a property because a property owner has failed to pay off their property taxes, okay? So what happens in Florida is in say, 1960, 1970, doesn't matter what year it is. At the end of the year, if the property owner has not paid the property taxes, that year's taxes will be put up to sale to the general public like you and I by that time I said in May. Last business day will be the beginning of it. And they'll say, hey, listen, you've had a year and a half to pay it. We've sent you out the notifications. Nothing really happens to the property owner. I mean, really, nothing happens. I go to the sale and I make sure that I do that. So at a tax lien sale in Florida, you're not buying somebody's property. In all reality, if I was on a 2-year backpacking trip around the world and just or maybe I was being held hostage in Russia, well, not a good idea, right? And you came back, I just saw a Wall Street Journal article where these people came back after being held in Russia for 2 years and now they owe taxes. I was like, wow, that's insult to injury. You think somebody at the IRS would have pushed pause on that. But let's say that you were gone and about, nothing happens. Nothing happens to your credit, nothing happens to the property, nothing happens to anything. Because in Florida, you've got yourself a 2-year redemption period. If they don't redeem within that 2 years, then the foreclosure happens, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. So when I buy the tax lien certificate in Florida, it could be 18%, 16, 14, 13. Whoever bids the lowest amount on that will become the successful bidder. Now, are there people that will bid it down to zero? Yes. Why? They could be wanting the next year's taxes. They could be actually buying the lien, expecting the person to redeem in the first 5 months, which is a 5% penalty. There's all sorts of rules around that. Look, I like tax lien certificates for the high interest rate. So I want a higher interest rate. Okay, if it's going below 16, 15%, I'll wait and buy them in the leftovers. We'll get there in just a minute. Okay, so really nothing happens. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to the sale. It's online. Everybody has the same opportunity to buy those at that sale. Now here's the kicker. In Florida, if I buy a tax lien certificate, for whatever reason, that person continues their backpacking around the world, decides to become a Swami from Tibet or something and never come back, and they're going to get rid of all their worldly goods or what have you. For whatever reason, they stop paying their property taxes. They don't respond. You have the opportunity to foreclose, but you don't get the property. What does that mean? Well, what that means is this is the dual state. This is the hybrid state that comes in. What happens is I have to contact the county and say, hey, county, property owner still backpacking or whatever, and we'd like to go ahead and foreclose on the property. The county will foreclose on the property for you. Now, this is important. What they will do is they start the foreclosure process and they bring it to a tax deed sale, and technically speaking, you're the opening bid, okay? If you want the property, you show up at the auction. Otherwise, somebody will buy it at the auction, the property, and from the proceeds, you'll get back your money plus the 18% or whatever the interest rate that you have on that. Now, why do they do it that way? It's really interesting because, you know, I've been doing this 30 years and I really didn't think about it until actually recently. I love the fact that even I'm still learning in this. And I don't know this for a fact, but so this is, you can fact check me on this, but I don't think there's so much history behind this. What I think is happening is because Florida is a retirement state, and if I do foreclose on the property, the county has to open up the bid if it's a primary residence. This is the retirement rule. If it's somebody's primary residence, what they call homestead there, the opening bid has to be half of the assessed value. This was to protect retirement people way back in the day so that people weren't going down there and getting a retirement person's house. Now, the demographics in Florida has changed dramatically, but it's still a big retirement community. There are retirement communities everywhere there. If you want a little history lesson, just go look at the old, what was that, Scarface. One of the only episodes, a lot of people don't realize this, little trivia here for you, filmed in Florida was that opening, the chainsaw scene that everybody knows down on South Beach. Nothing was down there. In that opening scene when he pulls the Cadillac up there on South Beach, nothing was down there because it wasn't the hot spot that it is now. But that just shows how much it's changed. So here's the rules in Florida. If you pay the property taxes on that and it goes to sale and they find out that it's a homesteaded property, the opening bid will be half of the assessed value of that property, whatever that might be in the county. For an example, if it was a $300,000 property, they'd open the bid at $150,000 because it's about half of assessed fair market value. I know there's going to be some discrepancy on that, but I think you get the point for this video on there, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so if you see a deed sale, not in this video, but if you go to a deed sale and you're like, dude, this guy owes $150,000 in back taxes, why did they? It's not the case. I can look at it real quickly and go, oh yeah, this is a homestead property, you know immediately. So the bid's going to be a little higher on that. So be aware of that. Look, buying tax liens in Florida are two different ways. So let's go through the second one. The second one's real simple. Once it goes to the sale and nobody buys it, now it goes into inventory, or what I've dubbed since 1994 called assignment purchasing. So I can go down to the county, I go through the list of properties that didn't sell and go, I want to buy the lien on this property right there. Boom, 18%. I sign them, I give them the money. The assignment purchasing term came from a long time ago when I was in, I think, Arizona. And I was looking at these liens. I go, well, if I want to buy this, what do I do? And they said, well, you flip it over and it said, assign the purchase to, and then you had to fill out the information. I thought everybody called it assignment purchase. That's just kind of something I made up just for your information. So don't get caught up in a vernacular where you go in there and go, oh, you have any assignment purchase? They might not know what you're talking about. It's just the leftover liens that didn't sell at the sale. So that's how you buy tax lien certificates in Florida. Obviously, there's a whole bunch out there. I don't expect you to start doing brain surgery by watching a 10-minute video. This is your money, and that's important. That's why I've got a brand new free course. It's a good price that I'm going to give to you. All you have to do is click the link below or go to Higgins, Higgins, method.com, higginsmethod.com, and it is my gift to you for staying this long. Okay, click on that, click the links inside there, and I got a whole brand new course on all of this stuff here that you will absolutely love. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you out there.